Yes. Oh, good.
Yes, yes.
Right.
So can I just double check? Was it on the right page?
Well, okay, 96, just a page before 97.
Okay, thanks.
I might have said page 97, but I realize I need to start from page 96 and just talk about this thing so that we are clear as to what is it that we're drawing. Right. Are we all ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Problem is there's only...
Yes, sir.
Oh, Kumalo is back. How are you, Kuman? All your problems have been sorted now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Did you tell your other friends to join?
Sir, I don't know them, sir. I don't even know if they're doing online. Like us, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, let's not waste time. Can you all see the book, isn't it? It's clear, even if you don't have the textbook.
Yes, sir.
All right, here, gentlemen, we're talking about civil drawings, as you can see, civil drawings on top, right? This is very easy. Why do I say it's easy? It's because this deals with the things that we see every day. All right. Now, this is what we call it, the substructure. What is a substructure? The substructure of a house consists of all those elements that are found below ground level. So the substructure, we're looking at things that are found below ground level. As we walk, we are walking on the ground level. When we walk around the field, around the school, we are walking on the ground level. So anything below that is known to be a substructure. Right. After a building site has been cleared and leveled, of course, before you build, you need to buy a site. Right. After that has been done, that means the building site must now be leveled. Then you must know the position of where you want to place your house. Therefore, the foundation trenches are carefully and accurately marked out according to the position specified on the plan. Therefore, you have now to get somebody who's going to draw a plan for you, all right? After that, then you, of course, you level your site, of course. Then step one or stage one. This here is your stage one, where the site is first leveled. The position of the foundation trenches are then marked. This is the position of the trenches. That's where they're going to dig for your foundation trenches around here. All right. So the trenches are now excavated to the thickness of the concrete foundation. To the thickness of the concrete foundation, which we shall find just now, just below this. Plus 3 course brickwork. 3 course brickwork. Maybe let me go there. This here is your foundation trench, which is supposed to be, let's go up. This trench, see, if you look at the size here, it's 600. They don't tell you now, you'll see it later. But the size of this is 600 because this is an external wall. For an internal wall, that will become 400. And these are your brick courses, 1, 2, 3, below ground level, 1, 2, 3. These are your 3 brick courses which they talk about on top there, 1, 2, 3 brick courses. Right, so this is your trench now, looking at this direction. So they have the foundation, then your 3 brick courses. So let's continue with our reading there. Right. This will, of course, it's not always what they're saying here. As they're saying that, this will vary according to the load that the foundation has to carry. If you are building a double story, of course the load will not be the same as if you are building a single story. 4 courses of brickwork are built up above the foundation. See now, they're saying 4. 1, 2, 3. Then there's a 4th one that's coming in here. Let's carry on. 4 course brickwork are built up above the foundation. The trenches are backfilled. The trenches are backfilled and a hardcore filling of sand and stone. So backfilling means that this here was your trench, like this here. If you look at this, there's a trench. Then on top of this, you lay your 1, 2, 3 brick causes. Then you put in soil, you backfill. So this soil here comes back in so that you can put your hardcore fill. That is now the 4th course. Then on the 5th course, that's where then you put your floor slab. All right. If you look at this here, there's a stage. The trenches are excavated to the required depth. Then concrete is poured in the required depth of the foundation. Number 3, brick courses are built up on top of the concrete foundation to the required height. This is your foundation, which is this foundation. Then above that, we lay 3 brick courses. All right. Now, I will read here and then come back here. Okay, 4 course brickwork are built up above the foundation. The trenches are backfilled into hardcore filling of sand and stone is then packed within the brick enclosure and compacted. This here is your compacted hardcore fill. This here, which is part of this soil, which you throw inside them. In other words, you level the soil so that you can compact it, then it's known as hardcore fill. Some people will use sand to do that. A plastic membrane is laid on top of the compacted hardcore fill. Let's come to this picture here. That now you have your hardcore fill. Then there's your damp-proof membrane, plastic, the black plastic. Right. Then from after the black plastic, then they put what you call a wire mesh. And they put in your concrete slab. So I'm going to read now what comes next here. A plastic membrane is laid on top of the compacted filling. A wire mesh to strengthen the floor slab is laid on top of the membrane, and the concrete floor slab of not less than 85 millimeter thick is then thrown over the mesh. Now, this here is your floor slab, which we normally put when we are building a house. This is the inside of the house, which is 85 millimeter thick. In all floors, in most cases, this is 85 millimeters. All right. So I've explained everything here, what is happening. So now let's go to the next page. Yes. Now, there's what it looks like, which is this here, and how you draw it. This is what we are drawing. This is what we will need to reproduce. But we must know what it looks like. Now let's follow this here. This is your foundation. They give the label foundation. They say the minimum size of a foundation for an external wall. External wall means the walls which you see on the outside. With there's windows here, there's external door, etc. Low is also known as a load-bearing wall. Why is it known as a load-bearing wall? Because it's carrying the roof. It is 200 millimeter thick and 600 wide. 600 wide and 200 up all the time. And then we lay 1, 2, 3 brick courses. So remember, this is the outside now, your ground level. Just like the previous page. This is your ground level. This is the inside of the house. So you are outside when you walk here. Right. So that's why you're laying 1, 2, 3 brick courses. Then above that, they have 1, 2. Now this is your hardcore fill. Right. But before you get to your hardcore fill, this is your anti-step earth. This, you didn't touch anything here. Remember we did this activity freehand on Monday. So this is your anti-step earth, which you did not touch. There's your hardcore fill, which you use your excess soil, or we use our sand. And above that, this here, there's your membrane, DPM. There's your membrane, DPM, which we spoke about on the previous page. And above that, there's supposed to be a wire mesh, but they cannot show us the wire mesh. Then we pour concrete slab, which is how much? 85 millimeters. Now compare these two. I'm doing the same thing, right? Then above that, we have 1, 2, and then you continue going up depending on the height of that wall. But now above your floor slab, we have what you call a screed, which is always 25 millimeters. This is your screed. That is just to make things smooth here on top. Just like what we have here at school, your corridors. It's very smooth. So after the concrete, then they put this, what you call screed. So gentlemen, this is how we're going to draw this. So our activity is to draw this here. Now they say section through an external wall and foundation, scale of 1 is to 10. All right. This is what it looks like when you draw our load-bearing wall, which is also known as external wall. That's what it looks like, and this is how we draw it. Notice that the labels that we have here is NGL and DPC. Not all these labels. We only label these two things, DPC and GL. And we should also here, there's another label that must go in here, which is your finished floor level. I think we did that before. Now, let us get into a foundation with a non-load bearing wall. Remember, this one here is a load bearing wall because it's carrying, there's it here, a load bearing wall. Why? It's carrying the roof. This one here is a non-load bearing wall, also known as internal wall. This here in your room, rather in your house, or even in our classroom, this is just dividing between your lounge and your kitchen, your bedroom and your other bedroom. That's why it's known as a non-load bearing wall. It's not carrying any roof. If we are in class, you notice that this wall here that takes me to my office. Likewise, wherever you are now, this wall here is thinner than your external wall, meaning that this one here is just dividing to give you the other room. Likewise, not without waste of time, this is what it looks like. This is how we will draw it. This is what it looks like. We don't draw this, we draw that. Okay, of course, foundation now is 400, like I said before, because this one here is not carrying 2 bricks, it's only 1. So 400, but the thickness remains the same, it's 200. And there's our 3 cores, 1, 2, 3, which is same as this here, 1, 2, 3. Then we get into our NGL, which is your ground level. But now this is the inside of it. There's your hard core, and that's your floor slab. You notice that here, the floor slab goes through. So in other words, there is no brick that is here. So you lay your bricks above the floor slab. Then we have our screed. Then you put plaster. Then you put plaster, which is 10 millimeter thick. All right. If you're going to plaster your building, if it's face brick, then you don't plaster this. So this is what it looks like. All right, gentlemen. So this is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like. My mistake. This is what it looks like, and this is how we're going to draw this. All right. So there's our brick here, the size of the brick. They're giving us all this information so that we can always refer to what we are doing there. There's 73, there's 73, then it becomes 85. So it means there is mortar here. All right. So you say that 85 minus 73, we will know the size of the mortar. All right. Boys, are we still together?
Yes, sir.
Are we following?
Yes, sir.
All right. So basically, that's just an introduction. Now turn over. Now we are on page 98. Page 98. Now there's our task now, task 3. That's our task, Task 3. What are we given here? Look at this, what are we given here? We are given an incomplete view of a section through a foundation wall and the slab of a load-bearing or external wall. Remember I told you, load-bearing wall, also known as an external wall. Now there is no hatching detail on the view. So, copy to scale 1:10. So you're going to divide this by 10, all this. So that becomes what, 60, am I correct? Will that be 20? That will be 45, that becomes 70, that becomes 10, that becomes 20. So after dividing by a scale of 1:10. What are you doing here? You are now have to complete the section through the given foundation, wall and slab of the load-bearing wall. Now in this drawing here, you must include a correct setup page with a title panel, with a rather appropriate title, all hatching details according to sense, which what you see on the previous page, which is 97, how we draw it, that is your sense code of practice 10.143. You must show your DPC in terms of label and your NGL. You must the foundation and wall dimension. You must also the drawing label. What is this? It is no longer an incomplete now. So you forget about saying an incomplete. Now it's a foundation wall and slab details of a load-bearing wall. So your label starts from here, and the scale used is 1:10. I will quickly draw this freehand for you to understand exactly how to draw this. Okay. So now I'm going to move the book away, but you'll keep looking at your book that you have there, right? So after dividing by 10, all this divided by 10. So this is what I'm going to do now. Firstly, I'm going to draw the foundation here. Right, boys? There's my foundation. Remember, there was an activity whereby you need to hatch your show me hatching of the foundation. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, there's my hatching. You saw that I drew triangles, right? Then I need to draw the wall. They don't tell me the height, so I just draw a construction line going up. I draw another construction going up. Now one may ask, in terms of where do I place this? So this wall must be placed at the center of this foundation. All right. So if this is 60, it means you must get halfway, which is how much? 30. Yes, 30. And your wall is 20. It means is 10 on the left and 10 on the right, so that your wall is placed at the center of the foundation. Are we clear there? So this here is 20. Now you are given that there is a 450 going up to your ground level. You can see that on your textbook, isn't that so? So now you measure 450 from the bottom corner of your foundation going up, and you get your NGL. Immediately when you get this line, you put the label N.
So that's your ground level, right?
GL. What's my ground level height?
Oh no, so what are these lines that are coming out, the two on the right that you just drew down for the NGL?
I'm drawing the ground level. I'm looking at the textbook.
Okay.
450 going up.
Just double check.
Yes. So you are redrawing this as it is, but now there's something missing on that. All right. So we know that this is 450. We also know that from there going up is how much? It's 700. Right, 70. So it means I now have a 70 that is coming somewhere there. Let's draw this. 70 coming somewhere there, right? Now, What is the size of our concrete slab? It's 100 or it's 10. Then you come down by 10. All right. You'll notice that this goes in. The slab goes in halfway through. All right. So if this is 20, so that must be how much? 10. You also notice that there's another line that passes through that. Now that's your DPC now. Now we have copied this. Now we need to hatch this correctly. On top here, there's one more thing that is missing. We spoke about it at the beginning on Monday, where you draw a zigzag line. What does the zigzag line stand for? It's break in continuity, isn't that so? You are saying the wall continues, but you want to stop it here. Likewise, on this right hand side here. So I'm going to draw a line that cuts everything out, a zigzag line, and there's it. It's saying that everything continues on that side, but now I need to stop here. It's known as break in continuity. Here, you can always look at page 97. This is known as your anti-stepped earth, which we use a 45 degrees set square. Isn't that so? There's your 45 degrees set square. 3 lines. Right. Likewise on this side. 1, 2, 3. Using a 45 degree set square. Using a 45 degree set square. I've got 4 there. Using a 45 degree set square. And now this is now known as your anti-stepped earth. When we then above your anti-stepped earth is what we call hardcore fill, which we also use a 45 degrees set square. However, that is one line, another line, and another line. All right. Now, when it comes to our floor slab, there is something that we need to consider in doing this. Remember, you will have done this light. So there is no line here. That's why I will T-Pex this now. There is supposed to be no line here. There is no line there. Here. There is no line here. Right. Is that clear? As you can see from the question itself, that there is no line there. So it means your floor slab goes and cuts, or goes halfway to your wall. Therefore, you should not have a line here. And the hatching is same as your foundation. Triangles, which are your stones, of course. Then you just make the dot. Make the dot. So the hatching is done over there. Now, they didn't tell us about the screed here. They didn't tell us. So it means we need to include 25 divided by 10 is 2.5. Now round off, that becomes 3 millimeters. So that's where we have our screed. Done.
So must you round off all measurements?
Yes, if there's a comma, you need to round off. Because from your set square, you don't have 2.5, isn't that so? Yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on and so on. The walls will need to be hashed now. 45 degrees set square is always hatched as a common brick. Common brick. 2. Leave a bigger space. Then 2. Another 2 above. So now your wall has been hashed. You do have your NGL, which is in this line here. So what is missing here is your DPC. Remember those 2 labels that they have on the other page? So I'm going to highlight this and make sure that it's dark. This here here is your DPC. See this here? The darker line? That's your DPC. That's where you put your plastic membrane there to prevent moisture from rising up. All right.
Sorry, sir.
Yes. Hello?
So I don't understand why you get
On the walls.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir.
That's how we do common brick. We hatch in pairs, 2. Bigger space, 2. You're showing, that's how we hatch common brick. That's how we show hatching for a common brick.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
So is this task 3, sir?
Task 3, yes.
Yes, sir. And then, sir, what is the scale for this drawing, sir?
One is, you haven't read, 1 is to 10. You divide everything by 10.
Yes, sir.
Then we need to include one more thing there which was not there. FFL. This is what we do. Remember that? Then we put in finished floor level. FFL is pointing that this is your finished floor level. Now your drawing is complete, kids. There's nothing else that you can do on this drawing. They're not asking us to put plaster, etc., etc., but this is complete. Then you put a label, foundation, foundation wall, and slab detail, and slab detail. But now you need to print this neatly. 5 or rather 3 millimeters slab detail of a load bearing wall. All right, you now need to label this neatly, and your scale 1 is to 10. All right, your scale is 1 is to 10. Now let's go and check. Did we use a page correctly? Yes. All hatching detail according to sense? Yes. All this is according to sense. Done. DPC labeled? Yes. NGL labeled? Yes. Foundation wall, or rather foundation wall dimensions, we haven't done that. The drawing label? Yes. Do we have the scale? Yes. Now we need to include the labels, the dimensions. This here, then you bring back 600. You don't say 60. We record the dimensions as millimeters, right? Because yours was 60. Rather, this must be as how it was given, not how you drew it. So this then becomes, we know this is 200, isn't that so? That's 200. Not 2000, sorry, 200. Basically, you now go back and then you put in all your dimensions that were given to you. That is how much? That is 200. All right.